Sorry, guys, this has nothing to do with you.
That's not a problem.
ShareVR, you're on.
All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm using a loud mic. So we're ShareVR, and we are the easiest way for you to share your virtual reality adventures. So how often do you share on social media? Post, checking in somewhere, sharing a video. It is the way that the internet communicates. But how do you share virtual reality? There isn't a good solution. Ethan is a game developer. He's got 1,000 players who love his game, but they can't show their friends why they're excited about playing his game. August is the VR research engineer for a B2B VR company here in Chicago, and if he wants to make a video for his clients, he has to stop everything and take a full day to do it. Keith, he takes six-figure contracts to make these branded VR experiences for conferences or auto shows, and yet, when only 40 people come to the booth, that's the end of the experience. If each of those 40 share it on social media, it lives on, and that is a big value multiplier for his company. So what are the challenges with the current solution? Generally, it's just screen capture. You record supposedly what the player saw, but it's not, because their eyes compensated for things. So instead, you get this jerky video as though it was recorded on their forehead. It's not good to look at. It can induce motion sickness in people when they're not used to it. It requires editing, which is really time-consuming. Now, if you're a big VR studio, maybe you put together a mixed reality video. But that has its own complications. You need a green screen, a production crew, cameras to come in, 10x more editing, and that's a huge hassle. So what's our solution? For us, players go ahead and from inside the headset, can just say, start and stop recording. And even though they live it in first person, it creates a third-person video, which is then immediately shared to YouTube, which of course can then be directed to the social media of their choosing, where finally they can show their friends and get the reactions of what it's like to be inside the headset. They're finally getting that feedback they really want about why they bought into VR. So how does it work? Game developers will go ahead and take the ShareVR camera and add it into their game at the engine level. That camera is third person, finally shows the player as they play. It has the voice activation built right in, as well as the connectivity to social media. Now, what do I mean when I say engine? In VR, it's not about whether you target the Vive or the Oculus. It's about the engine that's designed around it. So 49% of all virtual reality experiences are made using the Unity engine. 48% are made using the Unreal Engine. 3% are made by developers who make up their engine as they go. So a game developer will take the Unity engine. They will build their game using that engine. But there's no connectivity between that game and that engine and Facebook and social media and all where the players and the fans are at. This is not really there. So that's where ShareVR comes in. We plug into the developer's game and give them that pipeline to finally reach out and grab more people out of the wider social world. It's an easy choice for a game developer. They install the ShareVR SDK. It takes 20 seconds to install, drag and drop. Then they send out an update. Every player they have is able to now start and stop recording, create these videos. They go straight to social media. And for the developer, there's ongoing metrics. How many videos are created? How many views was there? And of course, in the future, how can I retarget the people who've seen my videos and turn them into new customers? So why now? VR industry is growing. There's no secret about that. But all of that is going to revolve around excitement over the VR industry. Sharing helps us all have that conversation so that we can grow to that giant $23 billion valuation by 2020. So, but even in just this 1 year, there's over 100 VR marketing agencies that have begun making branded VR installations at 6 figures a pop. 2,200 game studios that are trying to reach out, make these videos that become grassroots marketing campaigns for just to show off how fun their game is. And there's already 1.9 million players who want to show their friends what they're excited about or find the next game that they want to try, but there's no easy videos out there for them to pick it out. So what's our pricing? How do we turn sharing into a business? So for the developers, we function as a 3-tiered SaaS model. You can start out for free. You get 100 videos to create. It allows you to test us, try us out, maybe make your first marketing materials. Then you upgrade to $240 a year. That includes some support, some pro feature sets, and 1,000 prepaid videos every single month. Of course, for larger installations that need, they want to make a custom thing that's going to stand on its own, no support needed while it sits there for 6 months, we can work alongside you, build additional assets that then really give you what you want to make. For those 2 tiers that have a pricing cap or an upload cap, as we put it, for the additional videos that you make each month, you pay an additional charge for having gone over your prepaid model. And for those 1.9 million players that are already in the space today, when they want to differentiate who they are in virtual reality from their friends who are doing the same thing, avatar customization can come to them at a small fee. So we're the team that went out, we spoke to over 100 VR players and developers and realized this is a real problem that they're having every day. And we realized that we are the team that can actually solve this for them. So how has our solution been received so far? In early April, VR Monster Awakens was the first game that went ahead and created a private build of their game that had ShareVR installed. You probably saw it during our demo. That allowed us to begin testing in the field. We showed this testing version to the lead engineer of In-Context Solutions, August Wozolowski, who became our first formal evangelist, who's actually here in the house today. He's really helped push us along to the larger VR developer community. We were then accepted to the Wildfire Accelerator program here at Northwestern, which will provide us a working space and some resources to help get us through the summer. And just this past week, we started talking to one of these enterprise-level VR agencies so that we can support and add sharing to all the content that they're currently creating for large brands. But we love to talk about how many players are finally getting to use our solution. And without a public release on any network, 43 people have been able to so far create videos and finally show their friends a taste of what it's like to be inside the headset. But what's next? Later this month, VRMA is going to release an update that will include ShareVR so that all of their players worldwide can begin creating videos and showing their friends what it's like to play that game. After that, we'll have an account network set up so that they can redirect any video they make to the social network that they're choosing. And then in December, developers will be able to go on our website, select the package that they need, and start using ShareVR in their games, never having had to contact us directly. But then, early next year, we start the next phase of our company, the Be Who You Want to Be campaign. Now, what do I mean when I say be who you want to be? A lot of players we've spoken to aren't satisfied with just a generic avatar or the one provided by the game. They want something that represents themselves so that from game to game to game, they can show their friends on social networks who they are. That's where we go next. Sharing is not limited by just video. You should be able to take a representation of yourself from game to game to game as long as ShareVR was installed. Then you can also begin to play with your friends. You can see them in the virtual space and own that connection that you have outside of the virtual world. And that's where we go to the next level. Instead of just capturing on a flat screen, we go to full virtual replay. Live out your experience in virtual reality, and then come back and see it again as though you're still there in the room when it happened the first time. And invite your friends in so that they, in a three-dimensional space, can see the cool things that you're doing in VR. As we begin to capture assets like this, we move to becoming a full social platform. A place where it means redefines what is social in a 3D space. So we're ShareVR. We're extremely excited about how sharing can grow the entire VR community, the whole pie for the whole industry. And we are looking for investors to help take this company to the next level. Thank you.